Data onboarding has been a time-consuming and manual process for too long. Between spreadsheet templates, writing custom scripts, and implementation services, getting data from a customer into your software takes a long time and costs a lot of money. It's a critical manual step in your customer's onboarding process, with no easy way to get it done. Until now. Flatfile's data onboarding platform automatically converts, validates, and maps all of your data into the specific format you need. In just a few clicks, customer data goes from messy and unorganized to validated and ready to use. With deployment options including no-code, you'll be set up in minutes. Need to collaborate with your customer? Don't email sensitive spreadsheets back and forth. Flatfile lets you invite your customer to a secure, real-time shared workspace. Now you can give your customers a seamless data onboarding experience and save hours doing it. Join the hundreds of businesses who use Flatfile to solve their data chaos and are focused on creating long-term value for their customers. Visit flatfile.com.
Welcome back to the Product-Led Festival. But before we get going with the next helping of inspiring content, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for helping us bring this event to your screens. And don't forget, you can access even more content from exclusive articles and interviews to all past and future events on demand, as well as templates and frameworks by becoming a PLA member. Head over to theproductledalliance.com for more info. Enjoy the next session.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I know that many of you have joined from various parts of the world, and I'm really delighted that all of you have joined in this session with me to understand what is the innovation playbook of building successful categories. Now, before we delve deeper into the topic, I would love to sort of give a background about myself. Hi, I am Utsav. I'm part of a startup called Whitehead Junior in India. It offers coding classes, music classes, and maths classes to the kids in the world of the age group 6 to 14. And in my past experiences, I've built products for OTT for Southeast Asia customers, then with another unicorn of India, Car Dekho, for various dealership audit initiatives. Now, I'm quite passionate about startups in general, and I love building 0 to 1 products. And currently, I'm leading the new initiative vertical for my company, wherein I launch new categories. And in past 1 year or so, I have launched multiple multi-million-dollar categories for the company, and which are doing like more than 10 to 12 million annual revenue for each courses. Now, before we get into further details, let's see what my current company is. Now, Whitehead Junior is pretty famous in Indian startup ecosystem because it was one of the fastest exits in Indian startup ecosystem. Why? Because within 18 months of company start, it was acquired by world's largest valued edtech company Byju's for 300 millions. And I was one of the early PM of the company who saw the growth like 20x both in terms of revenue and user base within 8 to 9 months. And our company currently offers live tutors for kids to learn coding, maths, music, and we essentially serve customers across India, ANZ, US, UK, and LATAM. So let's see. What exactly innovation? Why all of us have joined together to understand innovation? Now, innovation is a very common use terms across companies, but in its core, there are only 2 types of innovations. First is radical innovation. Second one is incremental innovation. Radical innovation happens when a new product is introduced in the market, which is so new that no one has seen anything like it before. Now, you can consider examples where new categories are created. Say when Airbnb came into the world, when Apple iPhones came into the world, when any B2B software, which was never like before, came into the world. For example, when Google AdWords came into the world, right? So these are all examples of radical innovations. Whereas a lot popular form of innovation is incremental innovation, which many companies try to sort of go around and build new products for. Now, let's see what is incremental innovation. Incremental innovation essentially means you gradually improve an existing product or service in the market with the aim that you will be able to actually create more value for the customers from what you have in terms of offering, and it will actually solve like more pain points for the customers than it is being done by the offerings in the market right now. So we'll get into the details of all of these innovations, and we'll also see how it has helped my company to build multiple successful categories. But let's get into some more details. Now, what happens that whenever it comes to building products, it always starts with some sort of customer need, and it is true for innovation as well. Now, if you see this specific slide, we have a 2x2 matrix of needs and customers. On the need side, we have articulated and unarticulated needs. What it means is articulated needs are essentially what has been explicitly mentioned by the customers that, okay, hey, companies, I need such sort of product or service. Whereas unarticulated needs are like the customers have never told them to any company or service, or have not thought about it. Coming to the served and unserved part of customers, now companies through their products and services, they serve the customer base, the market. In many cases, with their existing portfolio, they would be serving the customers. In many cases, they would not be building the products or services which can serve the actual customer need. Now, the entire innovation playbook revolves around these two XY axes only. Let's see how. Now, whenever there are offerings wherein the need is articulated and the customer needs are also served, those are like the today's business, which many of the companies operate in. But for cases where needs are unarticulated, or say the needs are unserved by the current companies, these areas are ripe for incremental innovation. Similarly, for the cases where needs are unarticulated and are unserved as well, those are ripe for radical innovation. Let's see a couple of examples. Now, if you think about Airbnb, when it came, it started with their operations in limited cities in US, and the core customer need, no one had mentioned that, hey, Airbnb, do you know we want to actually stay in someone's home than into some hotel or into some B&B. Whereas there was no existing product in market at that point of time, which could have sort of served the unarticulated need of staying in someone's home. So when Airbnb actually came with their product, their entire innovation comes under radical innovation. Take another example. When Apple came through its initial iPhone in early 2010s, what happened that no one had said that we want a smartphone. We want a phone wherein I can have a camera to click fix. Maybe I can also access internet, or I can also sort of go through my music files. But what happened that Apple came with the very first Apple iPhone, which can do all these things. Now, this was also a type of radical innovation because customers had never thought of a similar service which could exist, and no one was trying to build anything around it. Moving ahead, let's see the left part wherein the needs are unarticulated, but those are being served. So what happens that in any market, there are multiple products or offerings which are existing and are actually serving the user needs. Consider example of Netflix. Now, what happened that when they started, DVDs were already there in the market. So people were already using it, but no one from the customer side had said that, hey, do you know, I want DVDs to be delivered at my home. So what Netflix did is they essentially built the DVD delivery service, which can send DVDs at people's home in form of rentals. Similarly, when they pivoted to the OTT, the video on demand service, no one was asking that, hey, Netflix, do you know, we want to actually watch movies into our own system through internet, because that point of time it was already being served in a different manner by, say, the DVDs or video cassettes which people used to play in their TVs. So both these examples are of incremental innovation where the customer needs were already being served, but the needs which were not articulated by the customers, no one was thinking about it. Similarly, when Uber came, there was already taxi service present in USA. People wanted to go to from place A to place B. They can actually take a cab by standing in some area or booking it through phone. But what Uber did is they understood a unstated need of the customer, that maybe people would love to actually go from place A to place B by booking it through their own phones. And that's where the incremental innovation happened. A new category was created. Similarly for AWS as well, wherein people can actually take infrastructure to build their own apps. And before that, it was not present like ever. Let's move to the next category. Now, coming to the area, again, the incremental innovation area where the needs are articulated, but the customer needs are sort of not served by any of the companies. Consider Slack. There are already messaging platforms where enterprises can come and use it, but it was not that great. But customers were asking that we need a better version. And what Slack did is they built that product. When Apple already had iPhones for people to use, customers were asking for a cheaper version of the iPhone, but no one was building such sort of phone. And when Apple built the iPhone SE, they actually played into this incremental innovation area where the customers were saying that, hey, we need this, but the need was unserved. So the question is how you can excel at product innovation with the knowledge of radical innovation and incremental innovation. You always need to start with, say, the existing products and analyze the user journey. Now, once you analyze the user journey, you will identify various pain points and gaps through your own audit, the competitive analysis, which you will do for a category, and by talking to the users through user research. Now, this specific step will give you enough points to ponder about and think that how you can actually build a new experience by playing into either of the areas of articulated versus unarticulated needs, or a served or unserved customer base. Third is, once you have actually identified the needs and have mapped through whether those needs are being served by any of the companies or not, you can define your own product vision, aiming to deliver the benefit which customers are expecting. And the way to actually do it successfully is, whenever you are thinking about a new product vision, identify the riskiest assumptions and then try to identify impact of each of those assumptions and de-risk them one by one. Now, once you have like a basic things which are ready, you can do the beta testing through the limited set of cohort, iterate the product and launch it before you are going to the market with a proper PR. Now, in my company, I have done this process again and again, and let's see what are a couple of examples wherein I was able to do so. So when I led the launch of a new maths product for the company, we started with the same step of what are the current existing offerings in the market, what are the current pain points despite having these offerings. And that's where we realized that most of the kids, they fear maths. They have a lot of maths anxiety. And if there is a product or a service which can help them understand maths in a better, easy, friendly way, probably it will be good for them. That's where math was built. And within launch of 1.5 months, going through the same steps which I have talked about in my previous slide, we were able to hit a revenue run rate of 1.5 million in month 2 itself. Similarly, we launched music for kids a couple of months back. We used the same process because during pandemic, parents were really fed up of having very less options for extracurricular for their kids. And when we talked to customers, they said that yes, we do want to actually have options where our kid can actually pursue their interest when it comes to any of the creative side, any sort of creative expression. And that's where music for kids was born. And we were able to actually quickly build a prototype, test it with a couple of customers, and then send it to the market with proper success. And again, it was like a very successful category, which we were able to deliver within 3 months from inception. Would love to take more questions. This is all from my side. Thanks for your time.